story can be a slideshow or guided journey. Like dashboards, stories can use visualizations. Stories can provide an overtime narrative and convey a conclusion or recommendation, enabling you to build upon insights as the story is told. In this video, you will see how to create a story, how to add scenes, how to add visualizations and filters to scenes, how to add an annotation and animate it, how to share the story, how to play the story, and how a person can interact with the story. In this video, I'll be telling the story of customer churn at a fictional telecommunications company. I have two ways of getting started. I could create a story if I was in a dashboard, or I can create a story from a blank canvas. And I have two ways of doing this. I could go from the home menu, clicking New and Story, or I can click Present Data. I have two options here. I can use a slideshow or a guided journey. The guided journey is a layout of scenes in a single canvas, and the presentation zooms in and pans over each scene in sequential order. The guided journey is useful when showing a timeline. I'm going to stay with the slideshow. I need to identify the data source that I'll be using. When the story was created, a title scene was created for me automatically. Before I get too far into creating my story, one of the things I want to do is create a filter so all my data will be limited just to churned customers. I'm now ready to start to build out the story, so I need to add a scene. I can choose a scene template. I'm going to pick the default, which is a visualization and text on the side. Get a count. So this will be a churn count because of my filter. And I want to see what my split by gender is. In this case, it looks pretty much equal. So I want to just add a note. And now I want to add another visualization. In this case, again, I'm going to look at the churn count by offer. And I can see people without an offered package have the highest churn. I want to continue along this line of investigation, so I'll create another scene. And this time I'm going to drag count and churn reason onto the canvas, and a pack bubble chart gets created. Now I want to drag offer none, because we knew that's who was churning the most, out to the local filters. My scene is now focused by everyone that doesn't have an offer but has churn, and I can see the reasons why. And I can again add an annotation. I can also add text widgets as annotation. Animation can also be added. I'm going to drag a widget onto the canvas to illustrate this. So this is the point I want to emphasize. I expand the scene, and I place the sliding bars for the objects where I want them to appear in the timeline as the object plays. Saving the story. And toggling edit off. At the bottom right hand corner are some settings I can do. I want it to play all scenes. I can set it up to loop, and I can set it up to refresh at start. So I'm at the start of my story, and I can see that each scene is going to play for 5 seconds. And here we see the animation appearing that we'd set up. Now that I've prepared my story, I want to circulate it with people I'm collaborating with. Clicking Share, I can send people a link to the story. They'll have to have a Cognos ID in order to play the story. The other thing to remember is the link is specific to the scene that is showing. So if I wanted to have them start the story at the very beginning, I'd have to be at scene number 1. This concludes the video on how to create a story and how you can use stories to communicate insights and conclusions to collaborators. Documentation for IBM Cognos Analytics with Watson is available online. The video description below contains links for topics covered in this video. If you would like to try what was demonstrated in this video, you will find the data in the Samples folder in Team Content.